So, my name's Ellie, and as you know, I'm a third year student studying criminology at Anglia Ruskin. And originally, I am from Sheffield, but I do live in Cambridge because I think it'd be quite a trek. It's a 3 hour train, so I don't think I'd want to commute every time I have to come to uni. So I live in Cambridge. And why did I want to go to university? Well, it seemed like the normal thing to do. Everybody else was going to uni, all my friends had gone to uni. So I thought, why not? And also, I did really want to sort of have a think about what career I wanted to go into after I finish education. And did I have any concerns about university? And honestly, yes, because for some people it can be a scary time because if you're moving away from home, that can be something which is a bit scary, but I mean, I've been here for 3 years now, so I was wrong to be worried because it's been a great it's been a great 3 years. And why Anglia Ruskin? Well, I always wanted to stay living in a city because Sheffield is also a city. And when I visited the Cambridge, I just thought it was beautiful. It's such a lovely place to live. There's lovely people. There's so many, like so much to do. There's so many different shops you can go to and so many places you can eat. It's really, really lovely. And I didn't actually come to an open day for Anglia Ruskin, but I did come for an informal visit to have a look round. And I was sold. I was really sold by this uni. So choosing my course, this is something that I struggled with to start with because when I was in A levels, I I wanted to do something science based until I realized I wasn't that good at science. So I thought more about the things that I enjoyed doing and I found that I enjoyed helping people. And I had a bit of influence from my parents because they wanted me to go into teaching. And I felt like that wasn't something that I wanted to do. I had worked with children. I worked in my local Brownie Guide unit, but I enjoyed it. I did, but I just couldn't see that as a career. And then I thought about criminology because I like crime, not committing crime, obviously, but watching crime dramas, crime documentaries. And then I looked into the course criminology and that was it. I thought this sounds really interesting. And also a great part of this course is that there are no exams. It's just essay based presentations, blog posts. There's lots of other ways you can be assessed, and exams isn't one of them. And I thought, yep, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. So, what's it like studying at university? So, well, to start off with, you're studying a subject that you've chosen, something that you find interesting, and that makes it so much easier. And when you pick your modules, don't pick modules because your friends are in them. Pick the ones you genuinely want to do, because that's the most important thing. And managing time, it can be difficult, but you've got lots of free time. And when I say free time, I mean time where you're not in a seminar or you're not in a lecture. And in these times, you can go to the library and study, you can study at home, you can meet up with friends and do studying together. And I think that's really, really helpful to be able to study with other people. And the way the teaching works is amazing. It's very varied. So you'd have maybe a 2 hour lecture where you just have the lecturer just talk to you, go through PowerPoints, explain everything what that module and topic is about. And then the seminar groups gives you an opportunity to voice your opinions, to have discussions and sort of arguments, but not the malicious arguments, just arguing your points. And it's great because criminology has got a lot of subjects underneath it. So there's sociology, psychology, politics. And then sort of, when you're in a room with different people learning different subjects, it's really good because then you can have a new way to look at things and think, oh, I never thought of that before, which I thought was really, really good. And then moving to a new city, it was strange, but it's so good because it gives you a little bit more independence. And when you're in a new city, it gives you a chance to explore and see what the city has to offer. And then obviously now, because of coronavirus, we have to work virtually, which I'll talk more in detail about. So yeah, working from home. To start with, it's a really difficult adjustment to make because it's not something that you're used to. It definitely wasn't something that I was used to. But luckily with our uni, we got offered an opportunity to have face-to-face and online learning, or just online. So I opted for face-to-face and online because I wanted to feel a little bit more normal, which is normal for everyone. I mean, these face-to-face sessions were really good. I could go into uni, go into class, see my lecturer, and then obviously see friends as well, because my friends opted for the face-to-face also. And when you're at home, don't think that you're not going to get support from lecturers, because you do. If you need help, all you have to do is drop them an email. You can book in an office hour, and then you can have an in-depth conversation with them, just you and the lecturer. So if you have any concerns, any problems, any questions, they're still there. You won't, obviously can't see them face to face, but you see them over, like how I am with you now. So there's no problem with that. I think it's lovely because you can still talk to them. And then my campus experience, obviously it's different this year. I don't know how it's going to be for new starters, but right now the campus experience it's great. It's okay. And I definitely feel safe because Anglia Ruskin has implemented rules to stop the spread of this virus, and I feel safe, and there's hand sanitizing stations everywhere. So don't worry, you're all safe on campus. So now I'm going to talk about a little bit more about me. So I was diagnosed with dyslexia in my first year of uni, which to some people sounds really late because usually these diagnoses come when you're younger. But like I said, mine was late, and I was very worried. I thought, I'm an adult in uni. Am I gonna get support? Am I gonna get help? I was wrong to worry because I've had so much support. I've got my own personal support people who are here to help me, are here to understand my dyslexia. And even the lecturers are great because if sometimes you do struggle with the way lecturers are sort of the way their style of learning, and if you're finding anything difficult, whether you've got a learning difficulty or not, they're always there. You can always say, could you maybe change this a little bit? And from my experience, it's worked and it's been really helpful. And with my dyslexia diagnosis, I've had lots of things added to my laptop, so then I can have things read out for me. It makes it easier for me to read things. It's just really helpful. And if you do have any disabilities, or if you suspect you do, just go to student services because they will help. And even if you don't have any learning difficulties, the support up there is still there. So no one's at a disadvantage when you're here. So this is an example of my timetable. I decided to choose my COVID student timetable because that's the normal for me now. So Monday I have a free day where I'd usually do some work. Tuesday morning I have my youth crime and aggression module. Yes, this starts at 8. However, usually when you go to campus, the timings usually start at around 9 or 10. But it started that early because they don't have to take account for people traveling. So then I have a break, and then I have my investigative psychology module, which is really interesting. I will go into more detail about my chosen modules in a couple of slides. On Wednesday, I have my face-to-face. It's a 4-hour slot, and don't let that like scare you, think, oh my gosh, 4 hours. But no, it's really good because the first half we talk about how coronavirus can have an impact on criminology and all the aspects of criminology, which is really interesting to learn about because it's a brand new perspective that nobody else could probably explain. And then the last half of that is we just have a little talk over what we've done in our previous classes for the previous week. Thursday, again, no lectures, no seminars. And Friday, I have my race, racism, and cultural identity, which again, also a very interesting module. And at the bottom, I've noted that I have a dissertation supervisor who I meet every week. I've actually had a meeting with her today. I didn't put that on my timetable because the times can vary, the days can vary depending on when I'm available or when my lecturer is available. But I think the way these sessions run are really good. You have the first half of the session having a discussion, and then the second half, we go into breakout rooms where we talk to the people in our classes to actually discuss the topic, and then we come back to the main lecture, and then we can voice our views and voice our opinions. So I'm going to narrow it down a little bit to what my day would usually look like, and I picked Tuesday because it's my busiest day. So at 7:30, I know that sounds early, but I need to make sure that I'm dressed, I've had breakfast, and that I'm logged into my class. Between 8 and 10, that's when my youth crime and aggression lecture starts and finishes. And then between 10 and 12, I do a bit of work on my assignments if I have any at that time. And I either do it at home or I travel into uni because I don't live that far from uni. Or I can do it there. And in that time, I can go to the library and get some books if I need them. And then between 12 and 1, that's when I have something to eat. And that's all before my investigative psychology module. And I'm either, if I'm at home, I'll log in at home. But if I'm on campus, I'll just tune in whilst I'm there. And then after that, my friend usually comes to uni and we have a little bit of a catch up. We work on our assignments together. And then 5 o'clock, I have something to eat. And usually there's somebody in the kitchen in my house that I can talk to and we have a nice chat. And then one of the most important things, aside from doing your work, attending lectures, is having a break. I usually switch off at 6:30 because that's when I've got things that I want to watch on TV. I've got maybe late, we might have a couple of drinks with my housemates, but it's important to have a break because you just need to just clear your mind and get ready to focus for the following day. And I just think it's really important. It's really helpful because if you're doing so much work all the time, it can just cloud your brain and you might not achieve as highly as you want to. So like I said, I was going to talk about my optional modules that I picked. So year 2, I did cybercrime, security and policing with Christian. I do have to say, to start off with, Christian is an absolutely lovely lecturer. All of the lecturers that I'm going to talk about are lovely, but Christian, he's really passionate about his topic. All of the lecturers are passionate about something that they've learned about. And cybercrime, it is so interesting, but it's also a little bit scary because when you think about crime, you just think about, oh, someone getting beat up, someone committing burglary or something like that. But then you don't realize how much crime can actually happen online. And I didn't know to the extent of what can happen online. I didn't know to the extent of what the dark web is like. And I also didn't know that a lot of people just use the dark web for obviously non-illegal ever been on the dark web, but I never knew that it was something where it can also be a safe space as well. It's really bizarre. And then Cultures of War and Peace. This is a really different one. Simon, he's hilarious. He's such a great lecturer. He's so chill, so laid back. You can talk to him about anything, and he knows his stuff. He's got a lot of knowledge. And Cultures of War, this one, it's more broad. So you're not just talking about things that happen in the UK. You talk about things that happen in different countries. There are some topics which are quite dark, like trafficking, sex trafficking, but it's good to learn about these things because it makes you more aware of what's going on in the world. And we also talked about terrorism, which at that point it was a very concerning thing to think about, but learning about it was so much more interesting. And then intoxicants and intoxication. I didn't actually originally choose this module. I did pick another one. However, that one got cancelled, and then I was put into this one. And I'm so glad that I was, because this is a really interesting topic. And as you can probably tell, we talk about intoxicants, we talk about being intoxicated. So we talked about drugs, alcohol, the development of spaces where people would drink. And Rachel, she made her lessons very different. And when I say different, we did a lecture about rave culture and she brought glow sticks for us. So as much as some of these topics can be a bit dark, there are ones that aren't, and then the lecturers can make it fun. And that's definitely a lecture that I'll never forget. And then moving on to year 3, which is the year I'm in now. So I said I've got race, racism, and cultural identity. This is one of my favourite modules that I picked because I'm very passionate about this, because as we're all aware, we do live in a world that sadly is still racist, and it's very interesting to learn about the development over time and how views have changed, how views are continued, and how things are now accepted, whereas before they were really not accepted, and even at some points illegal. And James is a lovely lecturer. He goes through everything so clearly. He gives us time to voice our own opinions. He gives us time for discussions where he'll talk to us about what our views are and what we think. He's very knowledgeable. He's very interested in his topic, which I find is so much more helpful. Investigative psychology. This was a module that because when I was in my first year, we got to see every single module for all our 3 years. This one, I was like, I'm going to do this, definitely going to do this, I'm going to pick this. And I'm so glad that I did, because, oh my goodness, it's interesting. We talk about like the minds of like serial killers, serial rapists, terrorists, and what could possibly going on inside their head to think, oh, I'm going to commit this crime. It's just, I can't even describe how interesting it is, because you learn so much, you go into so much depth about these things, and it's just great. And Kofi, he's so sweet, he's so lovely. If you have any problems, any questions, any concerns, he's such a great help. He really is. You can always rely on Kofi if you need a bit of help with something. And then organised crime. I haven't actually done this module yet because this is my module for next semester, but I can tell you a bit about Anna. And in the nicest way possible, she's crazy, but she is lovely. She's actually my dissertation supervisor, and I've had so many meetings with her. She just likes to lift your spirits up, and she's so powerful with it. So she'll be like, you're going to change the world, you're doing great, you're doing this. And the support she gives is just incredible, and I couldn't ask for a better supervisor for my dissertation, because I don't know, she's just one of a kind, I think. So moving on obviously, like I said, I've moved to Cambridge, which means I've had to become a lot more independent. And you have to learn so many new things. So you have to learn how to cook. I would recommend learning how to cook because, and this wasn't even quite a while ago. This was like a couple of months ago. I gave myself food poisoning. So please learn the basics because it really helps. Learn how to make spaghetti bolognese, learn how to make a chili. It's so easy. And then whilst you're in uni, you can learn tips and tricks from your housemates or your friends, and you can learn so much, like learn lots of different recipes that you can make. And then being independent, it means you've got to manage bills, manage budgeting a bit better. Because when you live in a house like I do now, we have to pay bills. We've got gas, electric, water, internet, and that's a part of growing up. I know it's a scary time growing up, but we all have to do it. But when you're in uni, as you can see on here, I'm part of the mental well-being society. I joined that society, which was set up by my housemate, and it's really nice because on our Facebook pages, we've got a Facebook page and an Instagram page. There's lots of really nice, helpful quotes, some sessions to do like yoga or workout sessions that can help clear your mind. And as you can see on the screen, these are my housemates. And yeah, we've had an interesting 2 years together. This is us. I would love to say that this was Christmas last year, but we've had decorations up early because we needed something to look forward to. And then the picture above was bonfire night. And it's really lovely living with people that you actually get on with. And I just really enjoy where I am right now. And I'm going to talk about accommodation because I did live in student accommodation in my first year. I would definitely 100% recommend, because when you move into accommodation, every single person is in the same boat. They've moved away from home and they start in uni. And it's so great to have like-minded people living with you because it takes the pressure off, it eases it a little bit, and then you can talk about things. If you've got worries, you can talk to your housemates. And it is just a lovely environment because you meet new people. Sometimes you'll have just random people from other flats knocking on your door asking, oh, do you want to come out? We're having drinks at ours. Do you want to come up? And it's really nice. And then you can also meet the people who are on your course as well. So I met a few people who are on my course just by socializing and mingling with other people. And it's a great way to meet people. And it also it eases the worry a little bit. So moving in, welcome week, definitely you have to go because you get to meet your lecturers, you get to find out the running of the uni, you've got your timetables, you've got people being very positive and very happy to try and just calm any nerves, which I think is very helpful. And in welcome week, you also again get to meet the people that you're going to be studying with. And then Freshers Fair, definitely go to Freshers Fair. 100% recommend. You can get free things. You can enter competitions, and in Freshers Fair, that's where you can join societies. You can have a look at what societies you want to join. There are course-based ones, there are sport-based ones, there's health, well-being, and then there's just fun ones, such as like there's a Disney society, which I wish I joined, but I didn't. And I do recommend, if you see something you're interested in, just do it because it's so fun. And also, when you're a student discount. I personally do a lot more online shopping as a student because, oh, look at this, I can get it for cheaper. Yeah, it's definitely something that's really great. And just get involved with anything you can. We have our activities that are on campus. Go to them. Go and have fun. Go and enjoy yourself. Because I know, yes, university is about doing work, trying to start your career, but also just have fun, because you need to have that bit of time where you're not just doing work. And then what I'm hoping for after graduation. Well, I had quite a few difficulties trying to think of what I wanted to do as a career, and that's completely normal. You don't have to worry if you have no idea what you're doing yet. When I started, like I said, I thought I wanted to do something science-based. Didn't work out. But what I'm hoping to do, I really do like helping people. I like talking with people. So I've decided that I want to work in an airport. I want to work in border security, stop people from bringing things into the country that they shouldn't be. But on a serious note, do not worry about your future. Don't worry about what you want, because at the end of the day, you've got a degree. A lot of people are going to want you. And I'm just excited for the future, because I've got no idea what's going to happen. But then that's the joy of it. You've got a little bit of surprise. But I am hoping to go into something airport related. And if not, I was always thinking about being a detective as well. That sounds really interesting. But yeah, just don't worry if you have no idea, because when you're on the course, you might think, oh, maybe I don't like this, but I do like this. It's really good. And when you get to pick your modules and you get to guide how you want to study, it helps. And we have sessions in the lectures where we have guest speakers come in from different jobs, different careers, and then it's really good. That's why I thought about detective work, because a detective came in to speak to us, and I was like, oh, that actually sounds like really interesting. So yeah, don't worry about the future. Just go through uni, enjoy, get your work done, and the rest hopefully should be a breeze. So thanks for listening, and if you do have any questions, just feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Ellie. That's brilliant. Daisy, if you wouldn't mind, if you're still there, if you wouldn't mind the QR code. Ellie, do you mind putting that QR code back up on your screen?
Yeah, of course. Let me just
Yeah, is
share
that all
my
right?
screen.
And I'll also, I'm going to pop a link to the QR code links to a feedback form, Daisy. I'll also pop in the actual URL to that link in the chat in case you can't scan the QR code. And it literally is just a real quick form just to for you to fill in for us, if you wouldn't mind, just to sort of give us a bit of a idea if you enjoyed the session. You know, it shouldn't take you a couple of minutes. And while you're doing that, if you've got any questions, Daisy, please feel free just to pop them in the chat function. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks for that, Ellie.
You're welcome.
Well, Ellie, we'll wait a couple of minutes in case Daisy does decide to ask a question. And if she doesn't, if we don't have any questions, then we'll close the talk in a couple of minutes. Okay, Daisy's just said that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you, Ellie. I think we'll close things now, and I'll stop the recording. Thank you very much for your time. That was really interesting.
Thank you, and I kept it at the right time this time.
Yeah, you did. Thank you very much.
Woo.
Okay,
So
bye,
proud of
Ellie.
myself. Bye bye. Thank you.